Breaking Bad has a lot of unforgettable scenes, from Walt's furious declaration,
"Now, say my name." Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
to the destruction of a nursing home with just a bell and a bomb. But there's one scene that quietly shows you everything you need to know about Gus Fring, and most people overlook it. At first glance, it doesn't look like much. They sit, eat, drink some wine. Gus talks about providing for your family. But it's one of the most important moments in Breaking Bad, because it's the moment Gus Fring made his biggest mistake. Up to this point in the show, we've only seen Gus as the ultimate professional. He doesn't yell, he doesn't get emotional. He runs one of the largest empires in the Southwest under the nose of the DEA, and he does it while giving donations to law enforcement and managing a fried chicken chain. He's always distant, always careful, and most importantly, he keeps business and personal life separate. We never see Gus socialize with his employees. He doesn't get close. He doesn't bring people home. Not Mike, not Victor, not even Jesse. This is a man who operates behind layers of walls, both literal and emotional. So why break the rule now? Why invite Walter? Because Gus believes that the only way to keep Walt under control is to build a personal bridge, not with fear, but with trust. He sees Walt as more than just a cook. He sees a potential long-term partner, but Gus misunderstands who he's dealing with. From the moment he walks into the house, you can see the tension in his body. He's not flattered, he's not curious. He's wary, suspicious, paranoid. He glances at the wine. He studies the room. It's like he's expecting a trap, because in Walter's mind, this doesn't make sense. He's caused too much trouble. He's been defiant. He's roped Jesse back into drugs. He's gotten personal. So why would Gus just invite him to dinner?
Why did you invite me here? We're working together. Why not break bread together?
Walt assumes this is a setup, because that's what he would do. This is one of the clearest psychological contrasts between the two characters. Walt believes in revenge. Gus believes in solutions. Walt is the type of man who'd punish disloyalty, who lashes out when people cross him.
You clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skyler. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
This is how Walt views power, through punishment, through fear, through dominance. And if you really look closely, it becomes obvious that Walt might be the most insecure person in the entire drug game. When you look at the other major players in the business, people like the Salamancas, they were born into it. It's in their blood. Hector, Tuco, the cousins, they grew up surrounded by violence, loyalty, and cartel. Then you've got someone like Jesse, a kid who got pulled into the meth world by poor choices and a lack of guidance. But Walt? Walt is a different story. He's the only one who chose this life not out of need, not out of background, but because deep down, he wanted to feel powerful.
All the things that I did. You need to understand.
If I have to hear one more time that you did this for the family.
I did it for me. I liked it. I was good at it.
This is the moment he finally admits it. After years of saying, I did it for my family, this is the truth. Walt did it for himself. But that confession is just the tip of the iceberg, because even after building a multi-million-dollar drug empire, even after eliminating rivals, surviving near-death moments, and becoming a household name in the criminal world, he's still insecure. It was never enough. Go back and look at the people Walt envied. His old partners at Gray Matter, Gretchen and Elliot. They built a tech empire worth billions. And even though Walt left voluntarily, he never stopped thinking about what could have been. He tells himself they cut him out, that they wronged him. They offered to pay for his treatment, but Walt couldn't accept it, not because of pride, but because their success made him feel small. And the last thing Walt could stomach was looking like a charity case in front of people who moved on without him. Then there's Hank, Walt's own brother-in-law, the loud, confident DEA agent who everyone admires. Walt never says it out loud, but it's all over his face. Every time his son looks up to Hank, every time Hank cracks a joke at Walt's expense, there's this quiet, burning bitterness behind Walt's eyes. Hank is the man of action, the protector, the one everyone in the room respects. Walt is just the chemistry teacher. The moment he hears Hank brag about busting drug dealers and seizing cash, something clicks in Walt's head.
Hank, how much money is that?
It's about 700 grand. It's a pretty good haul.
As I say, it's a good day for the citizens of Albuquerque when we can put this big a dent in the...
And from there, the seed is planted. What if I was the one with power? But here's the problem with building your self-worth on domination. Anyone who doesn't bow to you becomes a threat. And that's where Walt's spiral truly begins. He starts eliminating anyone he can't control. And there's no better example of that than Mike. Mike was solid, calm, professional. He never raised his voice. He never flinched. He never tried to control people. He just did his job. And more importantly, he never respected Walt's act. He called Walt out for what he was.
You are a time bomb. Tick, tick, ticking. And I have no intention of being around for the boom.
This line cuts deep, because it's everything Walt can't handle. Mike didn't fear him or respect him, and that's exactly why Walt had to get rid of him.
This whole thing could have been avoided.
Shut the fuck up. Let me die in peace.
Every major decision Walt makes is driven by this fragile ego. So in his mind, if he were Gus, he wouldn't be serving dinner. He'd be planning a hit. On the other hand, Gus is doing the opposite. He's not thinking about ego or punishment. He's thinking long-term. In Gus's mind, if Walt can be reasoned with, if he can see that there's a future here, then maybe the chaos will stop. Maybe the trouble will end. But here's the problem. Gus is using logic. Walt is driven by emotion. Gus thinks if he's calm and rational, Walt will respond the same way. But Walt isn't like that. This is also the first time we get a glimpse of Gus's real belief system.
Walter, I would like to help you if I could.
This is Gus's attempt to guide Walt, to mold him, not by force, but by influence, to show him that the empire they're building can survive if they both play their roles. The tragedy is that both of them are trying to figure the other out, and they're both completely wrong. Later in the season, Gus starts cutting ties. He tries to remove Jesse from Walt. He builds the lab around Gale again. He begins laying the groundwork to replace Walt entirely. Because the dinner didn't work, Walt didn't calm down. He got more unpredictable, more manipulative. And Gus realizes, too late, that the man he tried to reason with doesn't respond to reasoning. Walt only responds to threats. But by the time Gus starts playing defense, Walt is already on offense, manipulating Jesse, poisoning Brock, and ultimately hitting Gus from where he never expected. If you enjoyed watching, make sure to subscribe for more scene breakdowns and deep dives.